Guess what's going on? Did you hear about this? Facebook's fake news. Facebook was pushing fake news, Kurt. I don't know if you heard this. Social media giant planted op-eds. They planted op-eds in newspapers and ran TV ads across the United States via shadowy lobbying groups. It's secretly funded to defend it from politicians calling for greater regulation. This can't be true. It's from today. Oh, happy birthday to my brother, Miles. He's 8.
How would that be a news? Like if Facebook didn't do that, like a corporation did not do that, that would be a headline to me.
That should be a head. Facebook doesn't plant fake story. We found out.
How do you think the news works?
That's how the news works. A lobbying group secretly funded by Facebook has been perpetrating the fake news narrative by planting stories in newspapers across the United States and manipulating the media. Say it isn't true. The media isn't what it seems. Come on. American Edge, a political advocacy group founded by the social media giant. So Facebook founded American Edge, a political advocacy group? Really? American Edge has launched a campaign attacking the Senate-backed antitrust legislation aimed to expand competition in the tech industry.
What's the campaign?
Well, let's find out.
Are there any?
No. The organization has commissioned studies, placed op-eds in local papers, and collaborated with various partners such as minority business associations, former national security officials, and conservative groups to slam the bill, the Washington Post revealed on Tuesday. In its sponsored ads and writings, American Edge plays on citizens' fears of cybersecurity attacks from Russia and advanced technology in China, echoing key arguments of Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg. The group has accused lawmakers on Capitol Hill of having a misguided agenda and wanting to take away the technology we use every day, while also alleging the antitrust bill poses a danger to small and minority-owned businesses. However, as the group distributes its political propaganda, Facebook's name remains absent from the conversation. A move a source familiar with American Edge's inner workings says it is to increase trust among consumers. That seems counterintuitive, that you're doing something sneaky to increase trust among your consumers. That sounds that you're at cross purposes there, buddy. Just weeks after the Senate passed the American Innovation and Choice Online Act in January, American Edge launched a campaign bashing the legislation. The group released an advertisement featuring Clayton Stanley, president and CEO of Mississippi-based economic development organization, The Alliance. I got a video. I'm going to show you this video. We got it.
Oh, good.
On February 20th, they accused lawmakers in Washington, D.C. of weakening American technology, threatening jobs, and making the U.S. economy more dependent on China. So this is all called propaganda that Facebook is now doing. And here it is. There's that commercial.
Every day, I work with small businesses in my community, helping them grow and create jobs. American technology empowers Main Street businesses to innovate and reach their customers through social media and online advertising. But some politicians in Washington are pushing new laws that will weaken American technology, threaten jobs in our community, and make our economy more dependent on China. This misguided agenda will leave small businesses behind. Congress needs to protect, not weaken, American technology.
Whoa!
Why does he talk like Gomer Pyle? I need to win the business.
So that's what propaganda looks like, paid for by a billionaire called Mark Zuckerberg. That's what propaganda looks like. So when the government finally is going to do something to increase competition in tech, meaning social media, Facebook, shit like that, they do that. They get a tool like that, they pay him, and then he comes out and pretends like they're trying to hurt American business, and what they're trying to do is protect Americans. Go ahead, Kurt.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand who is that commercial for? Like, is that if I work in the government, I see that? Like a regular person watching that, it looks like a political ad, but like no one's running, and there's no specifics. Like who's dumb enough to fall for that, and yet still savvy enough to like call their congressman? I don't want you to hurt business with that Like, how is this effective?
Well, I don't. That's a good question. Good question. Well, here's another ad. Another ad, which debuted in April, was fueled by the war in Ukraine and featured a warning from national security officials that both Russia and China may gain a technological edge on the West as an unintended consequence of antitrust regulation. So you can't enforce antitrust regulation against big tech, or else Russia wins. China.
We already lost that.
I know.
I'm just watching a thing about Discord. You've ever heard of Discord?
Yeah.
Everybody uses it.
There's a Jimmy Dore Discord. I don't know how to use those things, but yeah.
Well, unlike Facebook, which does have end-to-end encryption, Discord doesn't. And at Tencent, the Chinese company is a 38% stakeholder in it. And China has a law that any company has to, it's called the National Security Act or something like that, where all companies are obligated to share all the data they have with the government and keep it a secret. So they've already, like, you forget about him having your data. Like, China's been having all of our data. If you use anything that Tencent or these companies own, like, they've already won that. There's not like, there's no fighting being done by Facebook against China having an edge. They got in a long time ago.
That's right.
Because all our greedy corporations allowed it.
And Facebook will do anything China asks to be in China. Facebook will do anything China asks.
We're going to get an edge because he's going to name his kid after Xi Jinping.
So the one time the government actually starting to do something to help people, I see them on television. I see them online all the time. David N. Sicilian, a Democrat of Rhode Island, who has led efforts to pass the legislation, said, they're making our point that these platforms have too much power. They have unlimited resources.
They are making their point for them.
Yeah, they actually are. American Edge has spent over $70,000 on Google ads and nearly $2 million in ads on Facebook. The group also published a series of op-eds, some penned by Stanley himself, in newspapers spanning from Orange County, California, to Nashua, New Hampshire. The leader of the National Black U.S. Chamber of Commerce, oh boy, which received a grant from the American Edge in 2020, oh boy, wrote an op-ed in the Las Vegas Sun in February, here it comes, during Black History Month, look out, arguing how tech companies are essential for the nation to support Black-owned businesses amid the pandemic.
Specifically my business.
Because, yes, there is nothing they won't use disingenuously. There is no identity politic thing they won't use to screw you over.
That's the point of having it, is to do that.
That's right. By keeping its distance from American Edge, the social media platform has allowed a political group to build the appearance of widespread grassroots opposition without being tarnished by scandals associated with Meta.
It really does. I mean, it just looks like the site. If I just seen, I've never seen that until you just showed it, by the way, that ad. And if I had just seen it, I'd be like, did somebody pay like a super PAC to make this thing about? They don't even tell you what the legislation is going to do. Like, it's so vague.
Well, it's going to hurt jobs and make Russia stronger, and then China's going to kill us. That's what their legislation is going to do. If you put any regulation on Facebook or Twitter or Google or YouTube or Instagram, that will just embolden the Russians. We all know that.
Mark Zuckerberg fights China here, so we don't fight them there.
That's right.
Meta, excuse me, not Facebook, Meta.
Meta.
We're all going to use that name now.
So now those are the people who are policing social media for accuracy and integrity and disinformation. The biggest bullshitting charlatans in the effing world. Those are the guys with a financial interest. You want those guys to be the arbiters of free speech? Okay. So, and that's why we got to follow up on that John Stossel. John Stossel did a lawsuit against Facebook, remember, because they fact-checked one of his things and it wasn't a fact check. And John Stossel got them to admit already in court that Facebook admitted their fact checks aren't fact checks. They already admitted that they're just opinions by people who have a partisan position. They've admitted that. Hey, I'm on tour. Come see me in Irvine, California, Las Vegas, Indianapolis, Salt Lake City, Washington. Washington? You mean Washington State?
Yes.
Yes. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all those tickets.